Hello everybody, it's time once again for another episode of How to Start a Radio Station, and today I've got a bit of vintage equipment that I want to show you. I've had the soldering iron out today because an interesting bit of old radio studio equipment arrived and it wasn't working, so I had to do a few repairs to it, but now it pretty much is working. So without further ado, let me show you this. This is a cart player. It plays continuous loop cartridges and it used to be used in radio stations for playing out all kinds of things, but mainly jingles and stuff like that, maybe commercials and things, although some stations did have songs on carts as well. It plays things like this, which are continuous loop carts or cartridges, and they look similar to an 8-track tape. I know they're not quite the same as an 8-track tape, but it's a similar sort of an idea. And you just put them into the machine and it plays them. Now this machine is quite good because it's a recorder as well. It's got a record button on it. I'm not sure how old this one is. It's made by Tandberg. It's a Series 13 2-track. But it's 2 mono tracks that it's got, which you select with this here. That's track 1, that's track 2. You've also got loudspeaker selection, internal, external, and internal and external, because it has got a built-in loudspeaker, which is also handy. Playback volume there, and record level or record volume there. So without further ado, let's have a look at one of these tracks going into it. Now it's switched off at the moment, and the reason it's switched off is it's quite noisy for a piece of studio equipment, but remember, this isn't the high fidelity radio stations of today. We're looking at going back to the sort of 60s here with this. So if I press power on, that orange light comes on, and can you hear it now whirring away? Now that's because the capstan, the tape capstan, is now running, and I put the cassette in there, up to the stop there at that side as far as I can, and then ram it home, and it will start immediately if that stop button is not pushed in. So push the stop in and that basically holds it. That's like a pause, if you like. So alright, the cassette's in now. I don't know if you can just see there, it's not running. And if I take off stop, it starts to spin. And there it goes. Now these cassettes have been blanked, these cartridges. They've been blanked by the previous owner that I got them off. They came from eBay. So there's nothing actually on them at the minute. This is a 3.5 minute cartridge, it says on it there, and 131.25 feet. So that's how much tape there is in there. It is special 1/4-inch tape that these use. It uses 1/4-inch tape which looks similar to what we have in the reel-to-reel tape machine that Dominic donated to us. But the tape in these cartridges is different because on the back of the tape it's lubricated, so it can pull the tape out of the centre of the spool and wind it back onto the outer edge of the spool. So it's a bit weird how it works. All I'll say to you about these cartridges is, if ever you have to take one apart, look at it very, very, very carefully, because you can very easily get them tangled up. But this is working, as you can see. When we plumb it into the system and get it all connected up and get something on the cartridges, then we will, if we want to, be able to use it. To get the cartridge out once it's running, we just press stop, and that actually stops it spinning. Press release, and then you can just pull the cartridge out of the machine. But it's still spinning until you turn the power off. So that is the Tandberg Series 13 two mono track, that is, cartridge machine. These are also sometimes called nab carts or Fidelipikes. These are all sort of trade names and that, I think, a bit like people call all vacuum cleaners Hoovers. This particular cartridge was made by Audio Pack rather, and there seem to be quite a lot of these blue Audio Pack cartridges about. It's been used, as you can see. It's got writing on for what's been on it before, but we've got to do some work on these before we use them, because up here in the cartridge, if you can see up here, there's some little foam pads, and they will need replacing. So we've got to open the cartridges up and replace those little foam pads, and apparently the thing to replace them with is a bit of cut up draft excluder. So we'll have a go at that, restoring some cartridges before we use them, and then we'll be ready to use this amazing cartridge machine. Things are starting to come together now. We've got Dominic's reel-to-reel tape machine there, fully working. We've got the microphones installed. Although it doesn't look like it yet, that rack-mounted compressor limiter is all plumbed in. It just needs to go in a rack. Then we've got a computer there that is a test computer with all the playout system on it at the minute, which is also coupled to that big monitor there. We've got the mixer, of course. We've got the scoot reporter, which is not plumbed in yet, but is just sitting there, that we showed you before. And then there's a monitor here, and this will be the incoming internet monitor, where we'll be able to look up news stories from websites and stuff, and also where we will be able to dial up calls on things like Skype and Zoom to put people to air from digital platforms like that. So it's all starting to get there, and this will be the co-presenter's position on this side here, with this microphone that will actually be pointing somewhere over there like that. So that's the story so far. See you next time.